Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jamie. Today we're going to be talking about my TBR that I have set for the month of August. And it is definitely going to be a challenge and also very different from what I have done before on this channel. In August, I have something special I have planned near the end of the month. I am going to a book convention called Romantically Yours. This is taking place over in Orlando. This is the first time I've ever gone to this. I haven't decided whether or not I want to do a vlog about that. I definitely may do a few vlogs of me reading some of these books that I intend on getting, or getting these authors' signatures when I go. For the last couple of years, I've been to Clearwater to a couple of conventions. The same one, actually, but different authors attending each time. And that's how I figured out that I love Anna Blakely, C.A. McConey, Evelyn Wood, all these indie authors. And that's all this is going to be. It's an indie author convention strictly for romantic authors. And I'm actually kind of happy that I'm doing this month because I was in the mood for murder mystery this month, and I kind of went a little overboard, and now I'm burnt out. My brain is tired of trying to figure things out or figure out who did a murder or what's going on behind the scenes. My brain just wants ease to where I don't have to think about, what's going to happen next or who did it or whatever. I need a break, and I think some romance will do me some good, especially anywhere from 180 pages to 600 pages. The books vary, so this is definitely going to be an experience. I have checked all these authors. There are so many authors attending on this Romanticon. Some of them may not all show up. Some of them may have things last minute to where they can't, attend. So I picked 20. I decided the best way to get a little variety of everything and to pick an author that I haven't heard before, which all of them are authors that I have never heard before, except for like one or two. But 2 out of over 50 is, yeah. I like having an order to things. So when I went through the list, I decided I'm going to pick one from each letter of the alphabet. So I picked 1A author, 1B author, 1C author, and all the way down the list, all the way up to Z. There were no Z authors. I think we stopped at, W. And they were all from first name. So they were all first name authors all the way down instead of last name. I may not get around to reading all of them. Majority I do plan on reading. There are a few that I am more excited to read than others. So if it gets to the point where I hit a slump, I'll prioritize the ones that I really want to get into versus just reading them to get as many signatures as I can. In one of my vlogs, I will show you guys my little black book that I've been filling out of all these author signatures or, messages that they've written in, some of the stickers I gained from the con. It's a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it the last couple of years, but this is the first time I've ever really sat down and dedicated myself to it. A couple of times it's been just, reading a few of them, which are the ones I own. I started with Anna Blakely and made my way down the list. I only got 3 or 4 that time, and then the previous time I think I only read 2. So it varies. It varies very much, but this is the one year I want to be dedicated to this, to give you guys not only more reviews, but a lot of these authors have less than 500 reviews on their books. And I'm going to show that when I show the book up here. All of them are on Kindle Unlimited, so I will be able to take them wherever I go. If I'm feeling something somewhere, and I'm feeling this one in particular, then I'll switch it up. I'll have that power, which I think will also help. 20's a lot. I'll admit, 20's a lot, but like I said, I don't have to read all of them. The challenge is that every 5 that I read, I am allowing myself to get 1 book at the con. So without further ado, we are going to hop into the list, let you guys know what authors I'm going to be reading. The books may change. It depends on if they keep them Kindle Unlimited or not, or if I just don't like it and I want to try something else by that author, that may happen too. I do want to read a few new books that are going to be either coming out this month or came out last month that I have not read yet, which would include Stillborn Summer by Josie Silver. I haven't gotten around to that one yet. The Busybody Book Club, I got lucky with that one. I did have to return it, but then they checked it right back out to me because the person actually didn't want it anymore. So I got to read that one. Coded Justice by Stacey Abrams. I finally read Rogue Justice this month. I do have to return that today, so I won't be physically having it, but they do have the audiobook on Everand. So I do intend on listening to it this week. We'll see. And then I also have The Unraveling of Julia by Lisa Scotolini. Those 4 books are kind of my priority, and where I want to fit them in will just vary. But all the rest of these are going to be on Kindle Unlimited. Starting off with the first author in our A's is going to be A.M. Wagner. This is the author of The Remnants of Riley. This is an interconnected standalone series, starting off with the first book. This one in particular is a business merger dark romance. Little backstory with these. I only read little snippets of the synopsis just to get a feel for what to expect. I didn't read the full synopsis because I like being surprised. But just to get a feel for what I'm getting myself into, in case it's like a male-male romance, I did have to change a couple of my choices because it's not fair that I don't particularly take to male-male romance. So I had to change only like 2 or 3 of the author's books up. But they had other ones, so that made it very easy. Remnants of Riley, not very many reviews, but I have been looking into getting into dark romance, and this will be my chance. A lot of these are going to be darker romances than I'm used to. But that's okay. That's the whole point. We're trying new things. We're going to branch out a lot with this. Alright, the next one that I have is Bailey Black. And this is the author of The Last Darling. This is the first book in the Neverland series, which happens to be Peter Pan retellings. I don't know much about these because I kind of left it at the Peter Pan retellings. I want to see where they decide to go with this, or what they do with Wendy, what they do with Peter, or if they're different names. We'll see. I have no idea, but I believe there's 4 in this series. I could be wrong. I did have to change my C author because it turns out that was one of the ones that didn't have any Kindle Unlimited, so I had to change it. The one I decided on is Kate Elise, and this is the author of The Player and the Pop Stars. It's the only one that she's really written. This one, it looks exactly how it sounds. It's a famous fake dating football romance. She's a pop star. She's hit a situation where she needs to fake date somebody, and so does he, because he figured out that, you know, the exes that have dated her, they become famous after that, and he kind of needs that with being in the progression of being retired. So it makes sense. Fake date, we'll see what happens, which it's a romance, so we know what's going to happen. But I believe this is one of the few ones that is a non-spicy one. I will let you guys know which ones are spicy and which ones are not. It does vary, and I am very curious to see the different levels that some of these authors decide to go with. So for the D's, the one I decided on was Donna Clare, and this is the author of The Reclaimed Kingdom. The first book is the only one written at the moment, but it is going to be a series. I figured, there's my chance. Let's finish this and then just read them as they go. This one is a forbidden romance, and it is a claim the throne, medieval-esque type of era. So I am always going to be for a medieval romance to see their variation. People have different variations of what they think medieval is. Very few actually change the language to fit the time period. So I am curious to see if they do that or if they stick with the modern language that we speak nowadays. For E, I picked E.J. Ricka, I believe it's how you pronounce. And this is the author of The Rose Red Duo. This is a duo. This is based in a fantasy world. The Fae are actually hunting witches for bounty. They are hunting witches to extinction. So it's probably going to be a very interesting world, and I really hope that the world building is good in this. I don't like it when fantasy books don't have enough world building to understand like how you're supposed to picture things or how the fashion is or, things like that. But this one, it's an enemies-based romance, and he is actually a shapeshifter wolf. So that'll be different too. I haven't read a romance with a shapeshifter in it yet. I think except for Kirsten White's books, the Paranormalcy trilogy, I think that's the only time where I've actually read a shapeshifter romance. So that'll be something new. I haven't read anything like that in a long time. For the Fs, we picked F.R. Black, and this author wrote Once Upon a Contract. I actually tried finding this off of Goodreads, and I could not, which was very surprising. I also couldn't find the author on Goodreads either. So I have a picture up here, but I could not find this off of Goodreads, which was very confusing, actually. This was actually one of the ones that I was very looking forward to trying, and it's a Victorian Louisiana setting. This is supposed to be a fairy godmother competition. There's supposed to be a happily ever after, but you gotta fight for it. I thought that was a different twist than, like Caravel or Phantasma, all those. This is definitely going to be a new twist on things. So I think for those who like competitions, I'll let you know how this one is. But this is supposed to be a series as well as the first one in a series. I'm excited about this one in particular. So I would definitely let you guys know how this one is. The next one that I picked in the G's is GM Fairy. I have heard of this author before from a couple of YouTubers who read Get in My Swamp, which is the ogre romance one. I don't want to read that one because it's one of the more popular ones. I am actually going to read the Crimson Wolf series. This is an interconnected standalone series. It's supposed to be the fairy tale retelling of Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. And there's 4 books, I believe, and all of them are based around the Red Riding Hood wolf. I've kind of been wanting to get into the fairy tale retellings. I'm glad there's a lot of them on this list. There was a few that I was excited to see. This one in particular, I don't know what to expect. I kind of left it at the Red Riding Hood retelling just to let my imagination get the better of me and see where we go with that. So the next one for H is Hadley Finn, and this is the author of Mangled Memory. This one is a trilogy. The first book is a girl who suffers from amnesia because of an accident that she had, and we have a billionaire husband. Well, being that she has amnesia, she doesn't know what happened or how it happened or who anybody is, and she's thrown into this, and she's wondering what actually happened because she doesn't really like her husband. So we're going to be diving a little more into mystery too. I don't know where there's the romance going to be in that. I hope it's not with the husband because he sounds like an a-hole. So I hope we don't have that with it, but we'll see where that goes. But I am curious about the mysterious aspect of it. The next one, I'm probably going to butcher this name, but that's okay. Isla Sikorsky. This is the author for The Hope of It All. This is the first in a trilogy. She came here to get a fresh start on her life, and she meets this guy who she actually knows. For him, it's also going to be his POV. She is the girl that got away. I always like those type of romances, so for me, I'm excited to read about this one too. So the next one that I have is J.L. Laura, and this first book that I decided to pick is The Summer I Loved You. This is a part of a 4-book series which has all 4 seasons. So the first one is The Summer I Loved You, and then we have winter, fall, spring, all those. But if I like this one, we'll see what that goes. So this is a second chance romance, and from the first romance, a hidden child that he did not know about. So that's mostly what this book is going to be about, introducing everything. I don't know if this is an interconnected standalone series, but since there's only 4 books, we'll just try the first one and see where we go from there. For the K's, I went with Kara Kendrick. The first book is called Unmistakable. This is a part of the Seaglass Beach series. This is a small town romance series where this particular first book deals with roommates being with her best friend's brother. And then this story also takes place in Florida. So that's kind of what grabbed my attention with this one, because, I looked up Seaglass Beach and I figured out where it was. And now I can picture it a little easier and, see the things that are going to be happening a lot easier than I would be somewhere else. Especially since I haven't read a Florida book in a long time. The next one that I have is L.A. Farrow, and this is the author of Sweet Venom. This is a standalone book. This is going to be one of my tester tropes. I have never read a Why Choose. So we're going to be diving deeper into having multiple suitors, that kind of thing. I'm very curious to see how I'm going to feel about this. It's got really good ratings. It has a lot more ratings than some of the other books that I've had on this list. This is also about a girl wanting a fresh start, and then things happen. Yeah, this is one of the ones where this could be a hit or it could definitely be a miss. I don't know. But I will definitely let you guys know. Next up for the M's, I chose M. Hartley. And this author wrote The Story We Wrote. This is the first book in a trilogy. This is one of the ones I'm excited to read because this is a girl who is aspiring to be a romance author, but she has never fallen in love. So that's where the dilemma falls in play. We are in a small town. Is starting to deal with an ex-bad boy ranch hand. So this is also going to be a little more of a Western type of romance. I don't know how Western they're going to be. I do actually hope that they make it a country feel versus, giving the illusion that it is, but it's really not. I hope they don't do that. Next out for the N's, I chose Nicole, I'm going to butcher this, Fiorina? She'll correct me when I get there or hear the name somewhere. This author wrote The Hollow Heathens. This is a duo. This I am also kind of excited to read because it's a paranormal romance set in a small town. So I didn't want to know anything more than that because with paranormal, you can do anything. You can have ghosts, you can have vampires, you can have anything. But apparently this is going to be more of, I wouldn't say a ghost. I would say more like the aura of a demon type. I don't know. I'll definitely let you guys know. This next author that I chose for P, I'm probably going to butcher this too. Prue Schuler? I'll figure it out when I get there, or I'll do research. We'll see. For this author, the book I chose was Saving the Beast. This is a duo, and this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it also is considered a Beauty and the Beast hockey romance. So we get a little bit of different things going on. Yeah, I don't know where she's going to go with this. I am very curious to see how she's going to incorporate hockey into a Beauty and the Beast fairy tale retelling. This is definitely one that's going to be going out there on a limb. But definitely let you guys know how that is. Alright, so the next one I chose for R is Rachel Holm. And I decided to go with the Brandit Brothers trilogy, which the first book is called Capitally Matched. And this is a roommates romance that also has prank wars going on. So we're getting a little bit of mischief. I am very curious to see what kind of pranks they decide to do on one another, or if he hates it and it's just all her, or vice versa. I don't know. But I am definitely willing to find that out because I do like books that are funny, and it'll be a good break, I think, for some of these dark romance ones. The next one that I chose for S is St. Fernandez, and this one I am really excited to read. This is probably going to be one that I will read for this con, and that is The Veiled Heir, and this series is titled The Heir of Atlantis series. I mean, the cover got me. The cover alone got me, but realizing that this is a duo where it is a fantasy. This is also supposed to be like an Aquaman retelling, just gender swap. So she's actually discovered that she has, these abilities and goes to reclaim her throne type of thing. It's the same thing as Aquaman, but just her instead of a guy. I'm very curious to see where they go with this, and if it's a duo, I want to see where they go with this one. Because if it's exactly like Aquaman, I may give it a lower rating. But if it's not, and there are other things involved with it than just, the typical timeline, I hope it will. Okay, the next one, I did have to change the book for this author for T.B. Weiss? I don't know. I'll figure that one out too. This is one of the ones that had a male-male romance, so I had to change that last minute because it wouldn't be fair if I read it and didn't like it. It wouldn't be a surprise. So the book I chose for this author was The Guardian. This didn't really come off as a romance to me, at least not the way the synopsis came off. It is a dark fantasy and it is a standalone book. Other than that, I really don't know much more about this. It is definitely a low-rated book, but the reviews are really good. I'm willing to give it a try, to give it a little more reviews, and to get it out there a little bit more, but we'll see how this one is. The other ones are mostly male-male romances, so I kind of had to pick and choose very carefully. So we're at the letter V, and I decided to pick Very Scott. This is the author of the Deadly Liars duo. The first book is called Together We Lie. I am actually excited to read this one. This is about a female who has to assassinate a male billionaire who is not very well liked. I could use a little bit of tension and kind of forbidden romance. That would be very nice. So the last one that I chose, and this is number 20, is Whitney Amazine, I believe. This author wrote A Summer of Dandelions. This is a duo book. I have not read this trope before, so this is also going to be one of my testing tropes, is the single dad nanny, but also fake dating. I haven't read anything about, a boss and nanny with kids and all this other stuff going on at the same time. That one will definitely be a tester. But I'm willing to give it a try. There are a few others, if I don't like it, that I can try. And same goes with all the other authors too. So that is what I'm going to be reading for the month of August. I am super excited to, try all these indie authors out and give them the reviews that I think they deserve. I think every author should get reviews. And a lot of these do not have a decent amount of reviews. A lot of them have less than 100 reviews. So it'll be good for me to, have an indie author August type of month. I will definitely let you guys know how it's going and may do a couple of vlogs with this. I don't know. But I am super excited to start some of these. Starting on the 1st, I can go all the way up until the 23rd, because that Saturday is when I am taking my ticket and I'm going to Orlando and having a good time. So I really hope that I enjoy a lot of these. Definitely venturing up there on this list, but I am super excited to see what I can find, what 5 stars come up, ones that I don't really expect, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys for joining me today on going through the list that I intend on doing for August. And if you guys have an idea of which books that you like better from that author, or if you have other authors that you think I would be interested in, please let me know. Also, let me know if you guys are attending the Romantically Con in Orlando, because I would love to meet you guys while I'm there. If you guys would like to see me do vlogs on this Romanticon, I would absolutely love to do that. You guys can like and subscribe and turn on the notifications, and I'll let you know eventually when I decide to go. More than likely it'll be the 24th I decide to do that video, if I do it. Because that's also going to depend on if I can video inside, and if I can't, then I'll have to just show you guys before and after. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Love your reads and drink your teas, and I am gonna go get started on reading some more. Bye!
You say it's hard to tell just what I'm thinking. You think it's hard to see